Hello everyone, this is Gavin, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Baldur's Gate Trilogy with my solo Berserker Mage. In this episode I changed my audio balance. If it's too loud, let me know. I changed my mic to be louder. I don't imagine it will be too loud, but let me know. If it sucks, then I'll listen to it and we can switch it back. But in this episode, we're going to be finishing up the planar sphere stuff. Well, as much as I am going to do, I'm not really going to spend a lot of time with it. I was frustrated with myself because I got Lars killed, and then I went on and read about this quest later. And if I want that Ring of Wizardry, which I really, really do, I would have to keep Lars alive through the first experiment. I don't know why I couldn't remember that word. I thought that dialogue was funny. What's life without risk, besides long? So the planar sphere is kind of nasty. There's still locked stuff. Like, I have that nasty swamp room. Like, I really need a butler to come through here and clean it up for me.
I hope this is worth it. Yeah, I'll see to it. It's done.
So, for those of you that are familiar with the game, the reason I'm picking up that magic immunity you already know. But for those of you that are not, I picked that up for the Kangaxx fight that is coming up soon.
Hold still.
These liches are cheaters, by the way. They get improved alacrity for free.
I'm there.
I was able to interrupt that one before he could cast anything, though. He tried to do time stop, I interrupted him. He tried to do some kind of fireball or meteor swarm or something, which wouldn't have done any damage to me anyway, but I interrupted him and killed him. I think that's possible to do with even probably the Flail of Ages, if you have enough attacks per round. I'm thinking of playing through Baldur's Gate 2 and Throne of Ball with my Fighter Thief. So we can test that theory, because odds are the weapons I'm going to be using for that playthrough are Flail of Ages, wow, easy for me to say, and Belm, up until I use any item, and then I'll use that +3 scimitar that I just won't shut up about. I don't know why I talk about it so often. And I figured since we're here, I might as well do the Skinner murders.
Are you interested in some thrill style?
You look like the sort who has more than two gold pieces to rub together.
I've been thinking about my content lately, and what I kind of want to do with the channel in the future. And I was trying to think of ways to bring in new people, make them interested in watching a Baldur's Gate playthrough. And honestly, I cut out all of the charm and everything that we, grew up loving about these games by speeding through it. Because all of this dialogue has so much life and humor, and it's just, all of it reeks of authenticity, if you know what I mean. Nothing feels out of place.
I'm sorry I am closed at the moment. Come back when I have replenished my stock. I see. You have gathered this evidence?
Oh man, now I remembered there was one thing I wanted to do. After I got out of the Underdark, I wanted to go back and check whether you can go talk to that silver dragon again after you're done with the Underdark stuff. The reason I mention it here is because you can create that that evil armor that gives you crazy magic resist out of the silver dragon scales, and that's tied to this quest.
Prepare to be eviscerated, fool.
But I forgot to go back and check that, and all this footage is pre-recorded.
Scream! Scream for mercy! Give me some direction.
So I think I'm starting to get to the point where Death Spell is not nearly as helpful as it used to be. A lot of the enemies are going to be far too powerful for Death Spell to have any effect. Have too many hit die. But for a level 6 spell, there's not a lot of damage dealing spells at that level that are helpful. Like Chain Lightning, like we've discussed, I was really unimpressed with the amount of damage it did. And I'm trying to think of others that are in that slot, in that level 6 position. Invisible Stalker, there's no reason to do that because I have so many Mord Swords and Animate Deads already.
I hope this is worth it. Yeah, I'll see to it. Oh, it's you again.
So 45,000 experience plus all the experience that you got from the other parts of that quest, that's pretty good for a short day's work. I think that quest would be a good one to do right out of the gate in Baldur's Gate 2.
It's done. I'm there.
It's a cold and dreary day when the Thermcourt extend a bit of hospitality to his guests.
And I forgot that once my ball spawn powers are gone, my resting is back to normal. So we rested for like 13 days in that inn.
It's probably best left to me. Yeah.
So I mentioned in a previous playthrough that I was just going to do... Oh shit, I keep losing my train of thought today. Oh, I was going to use a protection from Undead scroll to do this Kangaxx fight and trivialize it that way. But that's not any fun. Let's trivialize it another way. This level 5 spell that I memorized makes you completely immune to Kangaxx's second form.
Not a concern.
Just because all it can do is try to imprison you. And so we do that, and then the fight is over.
This place will be your tomb.
And for those of you that don't know, I don't know if this exploit is still in the game, but it used to be. Before Kangaxx finishes popping out of the ground, his model is actually there and he's not hostile yet. So if you have a good thief with pickpocket, you used to be able to pickpocket another copy of the Ring of Gax from him in this form, and then you could loot the second form. So that was really cool. I don't know if it's still in the game though. Since imprisonment is an abjuration spell, I just gave myself immunity to abjuration, and now I can't be imprisoned.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
There you go, 55,000 experience on the Ring of Gax. So I thought that improved haste was going to be way better than it is, but it only lasts 10 seconds. I thought it lasted the same amount of time as a regular improved haste spell, but I was mistaken.
I'll see to it.
I guess I was looking there briefly at the level 6 spells. The only other decent one would be like Death Fog, but I don't know about that spell either. I don't think it does that much damage.
I hope this is worth it.
I seem to remember that it only does a slightly bit more damage than Cloud Kill, in which case it doesn't really, it doesn't have a use. And not when Horrid Wilting exists, not when Incendiary Cloud exists. Cloud Kill completely nullifies it. But anyway, that's it for this this video. Gonna do a little bit more of this stuff for a couple minutes here at the Planar Sphere, and then we're gonna call it good. But anyway, thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next one.
Good day to you. Good day to you.
It's done.